from every single one of those plays, and obviously feel good about him in those moments. He'll come through. We came up short yesterday as a football team, but I have all the faith in the world in Shedeur. I have all the faith in the world in our players in those moments.
So once again, as I said before, Shedeur Sanders had a very good football game last week, minus a too few interceptions. The way I saw it, one bounced off of Quinshon Judkins' shoulder pads, and hey, if you touch the football, you have to catch it. I don't care what happens.
Even though Shedeur's completion percentage improved and your third down conversion rate improved, kind of lost the long ball in all of this. So was that by necessity or just the way the game went or what?
I think when you watch it, you always go into a game understanding the defense that you're playing and the things that they do that maybe preclude you from taking some of those plays. Doesn't mean you don't call them and take them when they're there, but I'd say you have to go into every game understanding that the defense has a plan of attack and have to take what they give you.
After Shedeur threw 2 picks against the Bills, suddenly Kevin Stefanski came out singing his praises. And honestly, after everything we've watched this season, that kind of applause feels off. Do you think Stefanski genuinely believes in Shedeur, or does it come across a little too convenient given how he's handled him up to now? On paper, his words sound supportive, but the timing is where the real red flag pops up. Now, after the mistakes piled up and the team fell short, he's talking about faith, growth, and belief. That sounds great in front of cameras, but belief isn't proven by speeches. It's shown through action. If Stefanski truly had that kind of trust in Shedeur, it should have been evident way earlier. Instead, Shedeur was benched, left in limbo, dragged into injury chatter, and robbed of the reps every young QB desperately needs. Confidence grows through consistency, not post-game pep talks. You don't wait for things to fall apart before saying, "We've got you." What's maddening is that even with minimal support, Shedeur still made progress. His accuracy started to click, the offense moved smoothly on crunch-time plays. That doesn't happen by luck. That happens when a quarterback adapts under fire, even while chaos swirls around him. Stefanski talks about taking what the defense gives you, but Shedeur never got everything he needed from his own staff. A young quarterback builds timing, rhythm, and deep ball swagger through reps, freedom, and trust, not by constantly looking over his shoulder. When you cage a player all season, then later blame the game plan for missed big plays, it comes off like dodging the real issue. If Shedeur had been given a fair shot from day one, he wouldn't just be good, he'd be unreal. Not a little better, but straight up elite. The talent was always there. What he lacked was the belief that comes through real opportunity. Stefanski hyping him up now feels late, reactive, and way too convenient. Shedeur didn't suddenly earn trust after a single game. He's been earning it all along. The problem? The coaching staff never met him halfway. That's why this praise lands flat. It's not about more compliments for Shedeur. He needed real support when it actually counted. And you better believe the internet noticed this press conference. The reactions tell you exactly how split fans really are. Some are saying, finally, this is the Stefanski we should have seen months ago. They think maybe he realized his mistakes, just way too late. They believe pressure, losses, and public scrutiny forced that wake-up call, and now he's trying to make things right with his QB before it's too late. But the louder side of the web isn't buying it for a second. Tons of people are straight up done, saying they can't hear Stefanski or Cleveland media anymore, and they want him gone just like he's acted all season. Fans are calling this praise fake, forced, survival talk, not actual belief. They're saying Stefanski has zero choice now because Shedeur is the starter. So yeah, of course he's saying all the right things. A lot of people feel he's just protecting his image because he knows his job is shaky, trying to look supportive in case the front office hesitates. Others highlight how Shedeur backed Stefanski all season, stayed professional, never complained, and now suddenly the love goes public, which makes it feel late and a little shady. To them, this isn't growth, it's pure damage control. They argue that if Stefanski truly believed in Shedeur, we'd see it in reps, trust, and real opportunities, not just staged press conferences. So while a small crew thinks maybe this is a coach finally owning his mistakes, the majority sees a man on borrowed time, saying what he has to say, and they are not falling for it.
And then with Shedeur, the completion percentage was much better yesterday, and I know he talked about that a lot last week. What did you see being the key to the improvement there?
I think every one of these games are different, Scott, and how you have to play the position and what the defense is giving you. It's so different week to week. I thought he made really good decisions throughout the game. You're going to have your plays that there's throws down the field, and if they're not there, you check it down and you can make good yards. So I thought.
What stands out the most here is that Shedeur did exactly what good quarterbacks are supposed to do, even when the situation around them is not perfect. He didn't force throws just to look flashy. He didn't chase highlights. He read the defense, stayed calm, and took what was available. That shows awareness and maturity, especially for a quarterback who has not been given steady support or a clear runway all season. His improved completion rate wasn't luck, and it wasn't just about play calling. It was about decision-making, patience, and understanding the moment. That's something you can't fake. When a quarterback starts making smarter choices under pressure, it means the game is slowing down for him, even if the chaos around him hasn't. What makes this even more impressive is that Shedeur did this while being limited in other areas of the offense. The deep shots were not always there, not because he couldn't throw them, but because the structure of the game didn't allow for it. Instead of panicking or trying to prove something, he adjusted. He checked the ball down, moved the chains, and kept drives alive. That's playing smart. Too many young quarterbacks get criticized for forcing passes, but when Shedeur avoids that and chooses efficiency, it somehow gets downplayed. The truth is, those boring throws are how you build rhythm, confidence, and control of a game, and Shedeur showed he understands that at a high level. The bigger picture is that Shedeur is showing signs of a quarterback who is learning fast despite the instability around him. He's not just reacting, he's thinking, and that's why this performance matters more than people want to admit. If he had been given consistent trust earlier, this version of Shedeur might have shown up a lot sooner. The tools have always been there. What we're seeing now is a quarterback who is growing through adversity instead of being protected from it. And that says a lot about who Shedeur is, regardless of how late the praise is coming from the coaching staff. Shedeur quietly put together his most efficient game yet, and the numbers make that impossible to ignore. Completing 20 of 29 passes for a 69% rate isn't just a small improvement. It's the best accuracy he has shown in any of his starts, and a massive jump from the week before when he was barely above 50%. That kind of leap doesn't happen by luck. It shows growth, adjustment, and maturity at the quarterback position, especially against a strong Bills defense. Shedeur didn't force throws, didn't panic, and didn't play reckless football. He did exactly what coaches always claim they want their quarterback to do. He read the defense, made smart decisions, and kept the offense moving. When a young quarterback shows that level of control and improvement from one week to the next, that's a sign the ceiling is much higher than what we are currently seeing. But here's the part that should make people stop and really think. That efficiency came with a clear limitation. The deep ball was basically taken away. Shedeur got one real chance to throw it deep all game, and even that wasn't completed. If he is already this accurate and calm while being held back, what would he look like with real freedom, real trust, and real support? What if he had consistent reps, a stable role, and a coaching staff that actually leaned into his strengths instead of shrinking the playbook? How much more would he have outperformed if he weren't constantly put in a box? The numbers prove he is learning fast. The film shows he is making smart choices. So imagine what happens when a quarterback like this is fully backed instead of managed. That's not a scary thought for fans. It's a scary thought for management.
When Shedeur was analyzing his own performance yesterday, he said that
maybe there's times when he should have gotten rid of the ball sooner. Is that one of the more difficult steps for a quarterback to making his progress?
What stands out here is how much responsibility Shedeur is already taking on himself. Even as a young quarterback still learning the league, most young quarterbacks deflect or make excuses. Shedeur doesn't. He breaks down his own film, admits where he can be sharper, and understands that growth comes from owning mistakes. Stefanski frames it as a process, which is fair on paper, but fans aren't wrong to feel frustrated because that same patience was not shown earlier. Development is not just about pointing out flaws after games. It's about creating an environment where a quarterback can fail, learn, and grow without fear. Shedeur's already doing his part mentally and physically, and that's why people see the upside so clearly. When Stefanski talks about learning from every rep and having faith in those moments, it sounds supportive, but again, it comes late. The 4th and 2 play is being discussed, yet similar moments earlier in the season were used to question Shedeur's readiness instead of guiding him through it. That's where the disconnect is. Young quarterbacks don't improve by being perfect. They improve by being trusted in critical situations. Shedeur is already showing progress in decision-making, pocket awareness, and leadership, despite inconsistent reps and mixed signals from the coaching staff. Fans see that and wonder why this understanding didn't exist when it could have changed the trajectory of his season. Faith after the fact doesn't hit the same as faith shown in real time. This is why so many people online are calling this praise too little, too late. They are not denying that Stefanski is saying positive things, but they are questioning the motive behind him. Is this real belief, or is it damage control now that Shedeur is the guy and the spotlight is hotter than ever? The truth is, Shedeur has made strides despite the situation, not because of it, and that's what makes this whole thing frustrating. If he is already improving with limited support, mixed messaging, and constant pressure, imagine what he could have been with real trust from day one. Imagine what his confidence, timing, and big play ability would look like if he were backed instead of second-guessed. That's the conversation fans are really having, not whether Shedeur can grow, but how much better he would already be if the coaching had matched his effort. At the end of the day, the words sound supportive, but the actions over the season still don't match. Shedeur continues to show growth, toughness, and maturity despite the situation around him. And that's the real story people shouldn't ignore. If this belief were real from the start, the outcome could have looked very different. Subscribe for more real breakdowns and honest football talk. What do you think? Is Stefanski truly supporting Shedeur now?